वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्.
Hi, and welcome to Geeta Girl. My name is Sharmila, and the Geeta Girl podcast is about how to live skillfully and be your best self by using the advice in the Bhagavad Gita. Jai Shri Krishna, Shayla.
Jai Shri Krishna, Sharmila. My name is Shayla, and welcome to today's little snack-sized Geeta Girl mini podcast. We are trying a new format. Sharmila and I sometimes get hit with a great idea, and we don't want to wait to do a longer podcast, and this is one of those times. So this is a little bit of a snack of a podcast, a little bit of Geeta Girl wisdom stuffed into a little cocktail samosa. Today's conversation was inspired in part by our Bal Vihar class today. We had this exact discussion, and so wanted to delve into it a little bit more with you, but in a really small time frame. So we've had this conversation about DYBLTR, as we said in our class today, to everybody's confusion. Do your best, leave the rest. We've brought this up in our podcast many times, but I think it deserves some clarification about what does it mean to truly do your best and truly leave the rest. In our class today, we talked about the fruits of your labor, or what you have a right to and what you deserve. Deserve was a big word that we used in our class today. And so we reflected on what does it mean when we say, do your best, leave the rest. And Lord Krishna in the Gita says that all we can do is control our efforts. All we have is control over our own behavior and never the results. So what does that actually mean?
Lord Krishna says the exact wording is that we only have a right to our efforts and we have no right to the results. So back to that word deserve, we all think, okay, I've made this effort, therefore I deserve these results.
That's right.
One of our students, brilliant 15-year-old, said she's come to the conclusion that no one deserves anything. It is what it is. No one deserves their good fortune. No one deserves their bad fortune. All we own, all we have a right to is our actions. And she's absolutely right. Krishna agrees, because he says that thinking we have a right, we deserve the results of our efforts, actually leads to entitlement, disappointment, anger, resentment, arrogance, and anxiety.
You want none of those.
In addition, fixating on the future results of our actions reduces our ability to focus on the task at hand and, of course, diminishes our performance because we're too preoccupied with fantasies and nightmares of the future.
That's right. We're not leaving the rest at all. We have to untangle those two.
Letting go of any yearning for a particular outcome frees us to be present and fully focus on our task, which will, of course, increase our skillful actions, our focus, resulting in us truly giving our best effort. And this new mindset allows us to have increased resilience and deal with any challenges which may arise more skillfully, as we are again fully focused on the task at hand and able to deal with the challenge rather than our energy being drained by preoccupations with fantasies or nightmares of the future.
If you are wasting any headspace, any thoughts on, oh my gosh, how is this going to turn out? What are they going to think of me? Am I going to get that promotion? Am I going to get that A in the class? If you think about any of those things, then you cannot be 100% focused on the task at hand, and you're not doing your best. Think of anything that you're working on now, whether it's a school or a work project or something at home or raising kids or a relationship with a partner or friend, anything. Just think of focusing on doing your best in that situation and not thinking about what the outcome is going to be, and just feel how freeing that is and how much less anxiety you have. You just are doing what you can in that moment, and you're not thinking about all the different potential and possible results that are out there.
This teaching, which is in chapter 2, verse 47, in the last line of this verse, Lord Krishna tells us there's another trap which prevents us from doing our best, the trap of doing nothing. This is a trap we can easily fall into for many reasons. If a result is not guaranteed, and in reality, no result is guaranteed, but if a result's not guaranteed in our minds, then we may think, I don't know if the result's guaranteed, so why bother trying? Krishna says that's a trap. He says, don't convince yourself into doing nothing. Another reason we may decide we're better off doing nothing is that we all have many fears. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the future, fear of wasting our time. So we convince ourselves not to do anything. The next way we can fall into the trap of doing nothing is analysis paralysis. Nowadays, with everything at our fingertips on our computers and phones 24/7, we think too much about the thousands of ways to do something. And so instead of just figuring out one way that seems optimal, we just fixate and ruminate on trying to research every single option out there. But as we know, the internet is a deep, dark hole that we can lose ourselves in, and we can easily end up doing nothing.
And something we talked about with our kids today is that no effort is wasted, that doing your best, even if the outcome down the line isn't what you expected or hoped for or planned for, you learned something. There was definitely no wasted effort. So that's another reason not to be fearful or to overanalyze the situation. Just do whatever you can at the time, make the best decision with the information that you have, and go for it.
The last way we fall into the trap of doing nothing is that we don't want to rock the boat. Humans are scared of change. Oftentimes we convince ourselves that we're comfortable with the status quo, even though the status quo may be harmful. It's a phenomenon that people tend to go out of their way to defend or maintain the status quo without even thinking about whether the status quo is optimal.
We get very comfortable. As you said, change is scary, and we'd rather be in a situation that maybe sometimes is suboptimal than taking a risk and changing things, even though sometimes doing our best is changing that situation.
Lord Krishna's advice in this verse is asking us not to waste our opportunities and present moments by squandering them on fears or dreams or convincing ourselves not to act, but instead practice do your best, leave the rest, to bring out the best in us, and so that we can make the most of every opportunity and every moment. And once you've done that, the future will take care of itself.
As we always do, we like to give you all some homework. And so we know that doing your best and leaving the rest is a lovely catchphrase, but it's much more than that. It's something that the Geeta really shows us is critical and important to happiness, but it's hard to do. Our homework for us and our homework for you is whatever task you're doing, focus on doing that to the best of your ability and trying not to think of the outcomes. We tell our high school students, focus on doing well in school without thinking about what college that'll get you into. At work, do something to the best of your ability without worrying about a promotion. Be the best friend you can be without worrying if it's going to be reciprocated. Whatever that is.
Speak out if you need to without worrying about the consequences, so long as you know you've spoken out in the calmest, most productive, compassionate way you can. That's all you could have done.
All you can do is your best. That's it.
And a little piece of advice here, your first game should never be the Super Bowl. So it's a meditation trick, whether you're eating, walking, washing your hands, showering, doing the dishes, small tasks in your life. The more you can practice focusing on those easy tasks, mindless tasks, if you can make the mind full and put your awareness in that rather than letting your mind wander, you'll get into the habit and build up that muscle of focusing. So when times are more challenging and your thoughts can run wild, you'll have the capacity to rein your thoughts in and focus on the task at hand.
Thank you all very much. We hope you enjoyed this little appetizer podcast, that little cocktail samosa. And we'll try to do more of these as inspiration hits. Until the next time, be well. Connect with us on Instagram at Geeta Girl Podcast and on Facebook at Geeta Girl Podcast. And you can always email us at Sharmila@GeetaGirl. We always love to hear from you and look forward to connecting. Until then, do your best and leave the rest.
Jai Shri Krishna, everyone.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansujanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vandev Jagadguram